Um, okay. So, Erin, when you think about some of the clients that you've worked with, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen people make when, trying to get a green card or, a visa?
So we have clients that are US employers and also either in the same case or a separate matter are the actual foreign nationals. I think from the US employer side, what I tend to see a lot right now is there's an intent to submit a green card at some point for this employee. Um, and once action is actually taken, it's taken a little bit too late because of the processing times right now. So just to give perspective, I mean, it used to be, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago that, you've got an H-1B, for example, it's a total of 6 years. And we would always recommend, you can have someone work for you for 3 years. And when it's time to do the renewal, then you can think about a green card. That would give you 3 years for processing. That's more than enough time. Well, now it's really not. So if you start too late, you're then really kind of, up against the clock. Things are changing. There are other circumstances that can create that timeline to grow. If there's an audit, if there's a retrogression in the visa bulletin. So there's, you know, I guess the worst case scenario is you've got someone that has to leave the US while they're finishing that green card process. So from an employer's perspective, that's not ideal. Um, from the foreign national standpoint, I think the biggest thing I see is kind of what I mentioned initially, which is there's this assumption that the sponsor is managing this, or, that there's just really not a lot of knowledge about their current status and what is required to maintain that. And as I said, I mean, the most important thing is that you are up to date on what is required to maintain your status. It is no one else's priority, to be frank, um, as much as it is yours. So it's really important that you don't have a time where you're working without authorization, even if it's unintentional. You don't have a time where you're out of status. There are some times where that can be waived, but it's not often, especially in the employer sponsor context.
Wow. Wow. Um, I have a few follow-up questions there, Erin.